Juan Merchan, the New York lawfare against Trump is almost done. Christopher Wray is going to have to step down. It's all good news, guys. You should be happier than ever as the Trump tidal wave wipes out the Democrat Party in America. Welcome to John Mike Keene.
If you hear anyone calling this election a landslide, please stop listening to that person about elections.
This election was a landslide.
Personally, I don't. I think that a lot of voters really don't like fake people.
And now, true believer AOC basically calls out Kamala Harris for being a fake person. And that's why people didn't like voting for her. This is the Democrat Party really in the biggest way possible, throwing Kamala Harris and her tactics and her values and her fake Democrat stuff out the window.
And they're sick and tired of fake politicians. And so what I actually think is worse is saying something you don't believe.
And what of Kamala Harris did she ever say that she did believe? Now, I'm actually going to give a little credit to AOC here. I don't hear her say a lot of things that she doesn't believe. I think she's wrong, but I don't think she's fake. I think she's a true believer.
And so if during the entire time in campaign season, you're saying that you're down with trans people or the LGBT community, and then you lose an election, and then the next day you say all that stuff was wrong.
Now, this isn't just about Kamala Harris throwing the trans community under the bus or people talking about minorities throwing them under the bus. This is sort of the Democrat pragmatists. Well, there's Democrats that are the same way, like the Young Turks. They're going, look, don't run on these social issues because you can't win.
Well, we're going to say we told you so. We told you this identity was disaster.
I don't think these days progressive social issues are a winning strategy.
Got it? It doesn't mean they don't believe them. It means that they realize that you can't win. And so AOC is a true believer, just kind of go, and she lost too, that she's a Democrat that lost, but she thinks there's something immoral with jettisoning certain positions. And I think I've seen Trump jettison positions too. So it's not like Republicans are immune to this. I'm only saying Kamala Harris took both sides on fracking, both sides on trans surgeries, both sides on taxing on tips. No, she didn't have a single issue that she truly believed in. And I actually think Trump, most of his positions are things he really believes, and we can find videos of him supporting these things from 20 years ago.
I actually think what people are more upset about is someone was doing something they didn't believe and just saying something. Like, if you actually weren't about that life, why did you campaign as though you were?
But this also goes, I'm going to call out most Democrats on this. I have Democrat friends in the arts, in animation, Christian lefties. They would abandon a bunch of issues if it ever cost them their job. That's where I've lost my job. I'm John Mike Keene, and I say screw you to all these people if you try and get me to change my values. Screw you. I've been willing to do this for quite a while because I couldn't live in my own skin if I gave up certain positions. Some positions I'm squishier on, but the social issues, I'm pretty hardcore on all of them, and I'm pretty vocal about them.
I'm here to tell you it's morning again in America. On Election Day, Americans sent a clear message to reject the consequences of Democrat control.
This includes the Democrats at your work. They're going to lose control. Democrats in education are going to lose their control. It'll take a while to wash it out. That stuff's not overnight, but these are losing issues. The woke, diversity, equity, and inclusion, those loser principles, the things that people were tired of getting fired for and persecuted for and called names for, called Nazis for. Now the Democrats are breaking up families. They're going, we're not going to go home for Thanksgiving. Women are kicking their conservative husbands out. So the fallout hasn't quite happened yet, but that woke mind virus is in its death throes. That was the biggest surprise to me, is how America voted. The woke mind virus and democratic hard left belief systems were rejected.
They said they couldn't afford the basics for their families' needs. They didn't feel safe in their communities. Their values were under attack. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Hakeem Jeffries, and extreme House Democrats were the cause. Donald Trump and House Republicans are the solution.
So we have a mandate. We're going to rip out all that DEI and all the woke stuff out of our institutions, because it's what caused the prices to go up. We ignored the issues. Government ignored the issues that, number one, they should be focusing on. That's national security, the border, the economy, not attacking companies. Here's Johnny MAGA over on Twitter breaking: Judge Juan Merchan has granted a request from the defense, Trump's defense, to pause Trump's sentencing date. Remember, that's still coming up here on November 26th. Sentencing is no longer happening on November 26th as scheduled. So it's either delayed or canceled. I don't think they can cancel it. But Merchan no longer has a mandate, I would say, to throw Trump in prison.
Who would have thought it's controversial that when a new boss comes in with a new agenda, that the people who work there are going to support the president's agenda, right? Only in the federal government, only with a deep swamp, do people, career employees think that they get to run the joint, as it were.
The new controversy is going to be as Trump walks all these Democrats out of their jobs, out of their appointed jobs, be all these different departments, all these head of the FBI. Christopher Wray is going to get walked out on his ear. They're going to demand his resignation on day one, and he's considering getting ready to be pushed out.
President Trump, was reelected with an overwhelming majority of an agenda by the American people, popularly supported.
The agenda, America rejected whatever the Democrats were doing. It's time for a new day. Trump's going to dig so much deeper than I thought he would. We have a chance to roll back the deep state, to roll back taxes. We can roll things back the size of government even. We can roll it back 100 years because he has that mandate. I think there could be deep structural changes that, in a biggest way possible, put the choices and freedoms back in the people's hands and rips them out of the government, where you have no say on your money, your freedom, your choices.
So deporting millions of illegal aliens out of this country, securing the border, banning DEI, all that destructive stuff that the Biden administration let run wild, getting boys out of girls' sports. Those are all the things that the Department of Justice is going to work on. And those are the things that the Department of Justice employees, career employees, are going to support. And if they don't want to support it, they should leave.
That's the DOJ. He's specifically talking about Christopher Wray, who's kind of reluctant to leave. The Department of Justice, depending on who he puts in charge of it all, because right now, Merrick Garland's going to go. He's going to be gone big time and hopefully prosecuted. Jack Smith will instantly vanish. That should make you feel really good. Does Christopher Wray get fired or does he quit? I'm John Mike Keene.